Also from education, there is good news tonight on that mold situation at the Maurice Moore Primary School. Last month, shop steward Michelle Outen told ZNS News that teachers were concerned about their health and safety after environmental health confirmed that there was mold on the campus and several classes had been relocated. But tonight, Outen says the matter has been resolved.
The Ministry of Education held true to their promises, and they ensured that our concerns for our health and safety were addressed. And over the midterm break, Elvis Roll came in, the contractor, and as promised, he addressed our concerns. They have fixed the roof. There were several areas where there were leaks. All the leaks have been sealed up, and without water getting in, there can be no moisture. Therefore, it will end the life cycle of the mold.
Outen says the Bahamas Union of Teachers is satisfied that the school has been properly cleaned and the environment is safe.
From a union perspective, we are satisfied that the ministry has done what it was supposed to do to ensure that we are in a healthy, safe environment. Work is ongoing. There are a few little minor things that were done, but Mr. Roll worked quickly, got it done. Everybody's back to work in their classrooms. The affected areas were thoroughly cleaned and sanitized over the midterm break, so I'm extremely pleased with what was done. The testing that was done all came back negative for mold, so we're in a good position right now.
Tributes are coming in on the passing of Lady Laurie Miller, recipients of the Paul Harris Fellow Award, humanitarian and friend of education, passed away at home yesterday. Tonight, those who are aware of Lady Miller's many contributions to society say her good works will never be forgotten. Italia Hall reports.
Lady Laurie Miller was born in New Providence and moved to Grand Bahama with her husband, the late Sir Albert Miller, sometime in the 1970s. Lady Laurie Miller, a mother of three, grandmother, and great-grandmother, described herself as somewhat shy, and many may not know, but Lady Miller was very active in the Grand Bahama community, starting with her church, the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King. She was involved in every aspect of the church and contributed greatly to its expansion. Lady Miller and her husband was also responsible for the columbarium that sits on the grounds of the church. Archdeacon Harry Bain says she was truly committed, dependable, and loved the Lord.
Lady Miller helped with the years ago when we had the what we call the Garden Villas or the Ghetto Project, where we cleaned up the area. She was a very strong supporter of that financially and otherwise. She served as the chairperson of the altar guild. That's those persons who clean the vessels and the altar cloths and so on, for 10 years.
Lady Miller also had a deep love for the deaf community. She played a major role in the lives of many deaf persons on the island since 1983. Deputy Director of Anglican Education Cheryl Wood says the former Center for the Deaf on Grand Bahama was one of the many organizations that benefited from this philanthropist.
She would mentor the young girls at the school, and she taught them how to make these wonderful creations using the fine art of needlecraft and just crafts in general, because she wanted to be a mother figure to them, and hence the name Godmother Laurie came about for her. And if you were to speak to any deaf child in the community and ask them about her, they would refer to her as Godmother Laurie.
She was passionate about education as well. Former educator Damaris Thompson says Lady Laurie Miller promoted the importance of literacy, especially among adults, through the Let's Read Bahamas program. She was a patron of the program since its inception in 1994.
Always there, willing and ready to help. If we'll call her when we have a meetings or whatever we have, and she had suggestions of things that we can do to really promote the program.
Retired educator Cecil Thompson says during his tenure, Lady Miller contributed much to the public school system on Grand Bahama, and her efforts will forever be remembered.
She made her own path, separate and apart from the contribution that her late husband would have made. She is, in my humble opinion, an excellent role model for ladies to follow.
The group expressed their heartfelt condolences to the entire Miller family. Lady Laurie Miller passed away at the age of 93. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Turning to news from the crime beat, 2 men wanted by the Central Detective Unit in New Providence were captured on the island of Bimini. Authorities say it was excellent work by officers of the Bimini District that resulted in the capture of the 2 fugitives who were wanted by the Central Detective Unit in New Providence for a number of serious offenses. Reports are that shortly after 12 a.m. this morning, a team of officers of the Bimini District, acting on intelligence, went to a local marina and business establishment where they arrested 2 males, 25-year-old Gil Akeem Brown of Pride Estates and 22-year-old Sean Roberts of Wells Avenue, Garden Hills Estates, New Providence. Both men are suspected of killing in the course of dangerous driving, fraud, and other serious matters. They will be taken to New Providence, where they will face criminal charges. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues in just a moment.